dedicate my set to the members and future members of the Colossus. Well, I am extremely happy to be here. Be invited to be part of the first performer, I suppose, at VERSeFest. Getting everything all kicked off. Beautiful festival. I'm going to start with a poem I haven't done in a little while. My friend Sally. She used to like to pretend that she was an astronaut. Now she thought long and hard about the distant dying stars which were on some days her closest companion. See, she was the daydream champion of our class. But just like the rest, she was pushed to grow up in an all too real world, all too fast, and though she was inevitably never to be cast into space, her face, it always bore the telltale smile of a dreamer. She had the wild eyes of a youth-filled schemer. She was a believer in the impossible. That is why it is entirely plausible at this very moment, though she will never set a single foot on the face of the moon, she's out collecting helium-filled balloons and filling her room in the hopes that someday soon she might have enough to float away. That's all these gray skies and the heartfelt lies of lost lovers, slipping in and out of her flower print covers under the cover of night. And maybe Sally was right, or rather strong enough to fight, as to never allow the weight of her plight to crush her spirit. You could hear it in her voice. She said, optimism is a choice, and happiness is a practice. We just need to develop the tactics to crack this static state of distraction. Apply our wheels to the ground and know they'll find traction. Hers did, Sally. She left skid marks on the edge of town to let me know she found an exit. Sent picture postcards from the pretty places she found further down the road. She said the further she went, the closer she felt to home. The road. It seems to grow on, like moss on the north side of a tree. Like a brand new pair of Valley Village jeans, and I suppose what all this is supposed to mean is too often we treat our dreams like road maps. Folded up and tucked away in glove boxes, we only pull them out when we feel lost. But Sally, she wore her dreams on her sleeve, allowed herself to be led to believe that she could achieve anything, and she did. Sally, she left skid marks on the edge of my daydreams to let me know there was an exit. Though sometimes I find it hard to imagine a world as magical as that seems through my mind's eye, I try. Every day we live and die a little bit more, and I'm forced to ask myself this question. What are you waiting for? Thank you. That's a poem I wrote quite a long time ago. Lately, I think I've been writing a bit darker, trying to, I don't know, but this is going to be a little bit darker. You guys, mix it up. I used to be afraid. And every day I used to pray to not be so afraid of the everyday things that preyed on me, like greed. The perpetual need to sell myself to the greedy. To those who'd have me feel needy every time I tried to make ends meet, used to be afraid. Used to look to the mirror only to see myself running away from the ways that I was. Trying hard to find ways to live two places at once, these 40-hour work weeks. Look at the lives they've made for us. Turning offices into graves for us, so we sought ways to escape the rush with cigarette breaks and 2-week vacations. And the truth is, there's absolutely no escaping when you're afraid. Every hour, every day, of all the things that might happen, like lightning strikes and faulty wires, unexpected solemn callers from doctors and offices, and nobody ever said it would be easy. Some sort of keep your hands clean kind of business, this life. They say it's bound to make you bleed a little bit. Fail a whole lot for every time you succeed a little bit. It's why so many die trying. Well, the best minds of countless generations seem hell-bent on trying, dying on for size, as if nothing else fits. That this warm bath on our slit wrists sometimes shits just waiting to hit the fan. It's like we built our homes out of objects prone to bump in the nights when they do. Better make sure you've got something left to fight with. Better yet, something left to fight for when just outside your door there's a war that still rages. When there's still slaves being traded, villages being raided with red-hot shells and red-hot deals on the shelves, yet we've been taught to tell ourselves that there are mirrors in our yesterdays, that they're shedding light on some brighter future. But when our history texts refuse to read right, seeking rather to rewrite the wrongs of the past, then has come a time when we ask ourselves, in the aftermath, when all that remains are the stains that retain the stories of our bygone times, the stories of our misplaced ideas. When all our underhanded deals with the devil have left us empty-handed, grasping at the straws that broke the camel's back, will we have found answers? Will we have found anything at all? some simple word or phrase worthy of repeating, some finite substance of ourselves that could tell the whole story, from beginning to end, that of both enemies and friends descending from the same source and returning in the aftermath. But we have found better ways to fall out of love, ways to leave less scars when we disregard those paths we've left untraveled, those mysteries we have left to unravel themselves like rolling red carpets, cast of ancient calendars, all counting down the days till we lay it all on the line. When we draw them in the sand, when we collectively decide to stand for something more than the values we're told soldiers fight and die for, those words they fight wars for, corrupt generations of youth for, that dissolve like sugar cubes left out in a rainstorm. They're empty like a womb after a child has been stillborn, yet we speak about reform and these systems formed to make us conform to their system. I'd rather be struggling. Because I know nobody ever said it would be easy. I know that's the reason we hear poets sing. They know you've got to bleed a little bit. You've got to open your heart a whole lot, that we might somehow succeed a little bit before it's too late. Before we are resigned to our fates, knowing the whole while we've just been too afraid. Performing in front of quiet, attentive audiences. You got like snappers and the woo. And can I get some of the slam sounds from the back? And the other half of my performing in Chateau Lafayette. It's like swearing and bottles smashing. Very poetic. I'm gonna do one more poem, then I'm gonna maybe see you guys a little bit later. I daydream, as if the realm of sleep cannot possibly contain enough hours. Like a seed contemplating its first date as a flower, like a superhero. With this is my superpower, and it's true. Daydreaming is not nearly as flashy as flying or lightning speed. And it's never going to get me on some kick-ass crime-fighting team, but there are days when it seems like this just might be the best thing I've got. So I rock my daydreams like a brand new poem. Open myself up to this new world of opportunity like this one day. When I decided to daydream that I was a poet, and I let everybody know it. I let words flash from my pens to pages, from pages to stages, just like this one, that when the day was done, I was able to count my wages and the sun rays I caught on my face and the feeling I got when you said raisin. It amazes me. Every time a daydream drip drops itself into reality, makes it plain to see the part of me that has always been ready for anything. And so I've concluded. If life is a stage, and we but merely players, I'm going to cast myself as the dragon slayer, march boldly into that dragon's lair, fully aware the most magnificent monsters are those we manifest in our minds. And every time we build altars out of cubicle-shaped shrines, we sacrifice our lives to our fear. It's clear to me we were not meant to be typecast as such tragedies, so I daydream, as if I had made it my day job. And lately, I've been working overtime hours. I've been burning that candle at both ends, so don't be surprised to find I can't find time for that 9-to-5 grind type stuff, for all that sublet your mind type stuff, and besides, I think we can all agree we've all loved enough part-time human beings to see the cost of living our lives pretending we're machines. We're not. We know it adds up, like interest due on the debts we owe ourselves, like dust on the covers of the books on our shelves we all know we should be reading. That we might one day read between the lines to find our lives intertwined in the stories of every great book. Every time, let them remind us who we are. We are the children of distant dying stars. Let us make wishes on each other. That we might always remember to wish ourselves the best. My chest, it contains the best damn one-band cheering section the world has ever seen. Yeah. You always cheer for the home team. I start each day with a one-man wave. And each night with a standing ovation, as if my dreams were something worth standing for. My life a cause worth dying for. I always leave myself wanting just a little bit more, that the last word I hear before sleep is encore. Encore!